बाकेश्वर पंडा जी को आमंत्रित करता हूँ। आप नालंदा महाविहार से, नालंदा बिहार से हैं और आपका विषय है द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ नॉलेज इन वैष्णव फिलॉसफी।
First of all, I warmly regards to all the senior professors, teachers, and my love to my friends and others members here who are present here. And I am going to present my paper before you. The paper title, The Concept of Knowledge in Vaishnava Philosophy. Here knowledge means the Jnāna. Human beings are deeply curious about the whole universe and life after death, the ultimate reality and so on. They are unable to realize the incomprehensible spiritual reality for their valid and actual sources of acquiring the true knowledge. We can get the answers of such philosophical questions from our very ancient Hindu texts such as the Vedas, the Upanishads, and the other sacred scriptures. The primary teaching of the Vedas and the Upanishads is Aham Brahmasmi, means I am Brahman. It indicates the eternal engagement of the individual with the spirit soul, which is Brahman, which is our spiritual and real identity. Many traditional schools of Indian philosophy endorse the notion that all living beings are one with God. Specifically, Adi Shankaracharya school of Advaita Vedanta philosophy speaks about non-dualism or oneness with the Absolute. It means that one homogeneous, impersonal substance not separate from God. Here a question arises. Is it the ultimate truth of reality or merely an aspect of reality? Or how far can this be truth be taken as true? Still, there is another school of Vedanta philosophy, namely Vaishnava Vedanta, who acknowledge this philosophical concept quite differently. According to them, though Brahman is our real nature, yet it is not everything. They acknowledge that there is always a link with the many sparks of Brahman, and that is God as a person. God can do anything that we cannot. Because of Him, we become eternal, knowledgeable, and blissful. Everything instead of becoming ignorant and sorrowful. Vaishnavas, being monotheistic, do not accept that everything is just one, or the idea that what exists is one. They claim that attaining oneness means a common relationship with the supreme object of all love, that is Lord Vishnu. It can create unity in diversity and can help a person to detach himself from this physical world and to show the way to reach the highest abode of God. Implicitly, the Vaishnavas say a relationship requires two, not one. So there is also duality, Dvaita, present in the divine. As Srila Prabhupada, the foremost Vedic scholar and the personalistic philosopher, stated during one of his lectures on Srimad Bhagavatam in New Year, I quote, Ananda, real Ananda, cannot be realized only by oneself. There must be two. Love does not mean I love myself and meditate upon love. No, there must be another person, that is lover. Therefore, Dvaita Dvaita. As soon as you come to the Bhakti school, there must be Dvaita Dvaita. Two, that is, one is Krishna and another is Krishna's devotee. Vaishnava tradition or Vaishnavism has total 4 major schools divided into numerous sects. Dvaita, what is dualism school of Sri Madhvacharya, Dvaita Dvaita school of Sri Nimbakacharya, Vishishta Dvaita school of Sri Ramanujacharya, and the Suddha Dvaita school of Sri Vallabhacharya. There is no difference between the physical world, the individual self, which is Atman or soul, and the supreme self, that is the Brahman. But most of the Vaishnava philosophers have contrasted with the Advaitic view. Sri Madhvacharya, the propounder of dualism, Dvaita philosophy, says that These two souls are not identical. One is separate from the other, yet the individual self is created by the Supreme Self, that is the Brahman or God. Sri Nimbakracharya, the propounder of Dvaita, affirms both dualism and non-dualism of individual soul and the Supreme Soul. He holds that the individual soul and the world are both different and non-different from Brahman. Yet it is closely connected. This difference and this non-difference are real. They are different from Brahman because they are endowed with natures and qualities different from those of Brahman. And they are non-different because they cannot exist by themselves and as they depend on Brahman. Now, my next attempt is to discuss about the ultimate truth and the ultimate knowledge, that is Jnāna, in the light of Vaishnava philosophy. It is found in all the traditions of Vaishnava school of philosophy, that is in Hinduism, that only Lord Vishnu or one of his associated incarnations, that is so-called avatara, is considered as the ultimate being, the Supreme Personal God, the Creator, the Preserver, the Transformer, all in one. The literal meaning of the word Vaishnava is worshipper of Vishnu. Vaishnava are those whose only desire is to keep serving, that is bhakti, and give love to God without interruption. Lord Vishnu is the distinct personality. He is all-pervading, the great maintainer, and expands into different personalities, every single living being. The Supreme descends into this world of empirical beings in order to destroy the virulent demons which are the cause for the rise of non-righteousness, adharma. The Supreme can make his devotees happy only by bringing righteousness, dharma, back into existence. This is the reason why God took many avatars or incarnations, which is popularly known as Dasavataras, to alleviate the sufferings of people due to adharma or non-righteousness in various yugas. Vaishnavites address a monotheistic God under the name of Sri Narayana, Sri Vasudeva, and their related embodiments. In Vaishnavism, we find the most significant feature, which is the incarnation, avatara, of Lord Vishnu. It has been depicted that Lord Vishnu had reincarnated as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the golden avatar. The time is 1486 to 1534. So Lord Vishnu had reincarnated as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly after Sri Krishna Bhagavan in the mode of his greatest devotee and consort, Srimati Radharani, to fight the Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel, hypocrisy and unconsciousness of God. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a famous saint from Bengal who popularized the cult of Vaishnava tradition. He was the father of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, Bengal Vaishnavism. His philosophical concept is known as Achinta Vedaved, meaning the individual self is identical to God and at the same time it's different. The human mind has not capability of realizing this concept, but it can be experienced through Bhakti Yoga. He was known as a Bhakti saint because he showed the path for pure love, simply faith and true devotion towards God. He established the Yuga Dharma of congregational devotional chanting, that is Harinam Sankirtan. As all of you know that Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. For attaining the Supreme God, the Bhakti is regarded as affection for God and associated with the sense of His majesty. So, Vaishnavism evolved as a Bhakti movement all over the country and it was greatly revived during this time. This Bhakti movement is the main spiritual practice to show loving devotion towards the particular form of Supreme God or Supreme Being. It is believed that the basis for the devotion towards the particular form of Supreme Being It is Bhakti movement in the Vedas. The Brahman concept of the Vedas is identified as Vedic Vishnu in Vaishnava tradition. So, other than this, that other eminent religious saints also made their significant contribution to the development of Vaishnava tradition, Vaishnava philosophy, Vaishnavism. Some of them are popularly known as Sri Ranganatha Muni, which is Natha Muni, Sri Yamunacharya, and so on. So now I am going to discuss another part of my paper, that knowledge in Vaishnavism, the so-called the epistemological fact here, knowledge in Vaishnava tradition, in Jnāna, which is Gyan. Some Indian philosophical schools, including Vaishnavism as well as Gaudiya Vaishnavism, would appear as dogmatic because for them metaphysics is found to precede epistemology. But some thinkers hold that metaphysics should be based on epistemology. Indian philosophers rely on metaphysical views for epistemological conclusion. Why? Because they realize that the truth of any epistemological theory only depends on epistemological conclusion. Depends on the truth of the metaphysical theory, which is already assumed by itself and not requires to prove. The main interest of Vaishnava philosophy lies in both metaphysical and theological doctrines. This is the basic difference. This school has much interest in philosophical and theological aspects. It requires logical reasoning, and the validity of this logical reasoning depends upon the criticism of knowledge. The epistemology or the concept of knowledge has become an important context in Vaishnava philosophy. Indian philosophical discussion concerns about epistemology through the following elements. What are those? This is very common fact that one is pramana, the right and valid knowledge, yathartha gyan. Prama, the right knowledge. Pramana, the sources of knowledge, means for knowledge. Prameya, the object of knowledge, the valid object of knowledge. And the last one is pramata, the knower, who is gaining the knowledge, who is attaining the knowledge. The subject who knows. Karta. Here we can understand that the connection of pramana with prameya shows how metaphysics depends on epistemology. It indicates that the study of epistemology is very much important in this context. Anyway, I am coming to my main point again, that in Indian philosophy, there are, in traditional school of Indian philosophy, there are total number of pramanas are there. What is pratyaksha, anuman, upaman, shabda, arthapatti, anupalabdhi. Rather than these, Vaishnava philosophy added some more pramanas, which are one is atithya, that is tradition. This pramana means an unbroken chain of some kind of common belief or tradition from the originator who is unknown. Example, a popular belief that there lives a ghost in that fig tree is a kind of tradition. Traditionally, we can know that the source of knowledge, it is atithya. Another one is sambhava, inclusion. When we say that 100 persons are present, it also includes 10, 30, 50 and so on. So inclusion is the form of mathematical reasoning. It is as error-free knowledge comes under anumana. This is the praman which is based on the principle that the smaller quantity is included under the greater quantity. This is the sambhava. Another one is authority of sages, which is arsa. This pramana means the authority or the license of the rishis, sages. Whatever authority has done, there may be inconsistencies. Even there may be mistakes, but still it is all right and should be accepted. The word infers that the self-realized sages are above the constraints of grammar and rhetoric. Vaishnava philosophers say that we should not find any mistakes and should not think of any change of the scriptures, what the spiritual saints have authored. just like the Apta Vakya Vyakti, Shabda, we have to trust on his whatever he is telling. We have to trust. We should not find any guilt. We should not find any wrong, any mistakes in his talks. Another one is, I will mention here that Srila Prabhupada defines Arsha in this way. So unless one is self-realized, there is practically no use writing about Krishna. This transcendental writing does not depend on material education. It depends on the spiritual realization. You will find, therefore, in the comments of Bhagavatam by different acharyas, even there are some discrepancies, they are accepted as Arsha Prayaga. Just like Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we should not find any mistakes there. We have to believe, we have to give trust on whatever has been told. And another one is, last one is Chesta, gesture. To acquire knowledge, this pramana has also been accepted. Chesta means of knowledge consists in bodily gesture or symbols. Like seeing a smiling face may produce knowledge that the person feels happy. Two modern examples, the index finger and the middle finger in the position of a V, just like this. What it signifies? The victory. So this is also can also be a source of knowledge. So I'm coming to the last point, conclusive part, that I'm mentioning a verse which is commonly used for each and every follower of Vaishnavism. I quote that everything has been made by Narayana, everything is maintained by Narayana, and everything will be dissolved in Narayana. Narayana is the ultimate reality. I was telling that the ultimate source, ultimate truth of knowledge, ultimate truth. This is the ultimate truth, ultimate reality. What? Narayana. Narayana is the ultimate reality. Narayana is God and Lord. Everything is and is Narayana. Narayana is the manifest and the unmanifest. Narayana is the visible and the invisible. Everything is in Narayana. Narayana is in everything. Narayana is Shiva. Narayana is Brahma. Narayana is the Devas and Devis. Narayana is the King of all. Thank you.